want to talk to you all about pleasing the Father. Pleasing the Father, pleasing God, touches him a particular way. It even shows favor towards us too. I can remember when I was about 13 years old. It was the month of August. My father was very particular about his yard, cutting grass. Normally we cut our yard on Saturday mornings. Very first thing we did when we got up each Saturday morning was cut the grass. My father was very particular, very serious about his yard, and he just cared about his yard. And he's like that even to this day. So one particular Wednesday, I wanted to surprise my dad when he came home from work because he had a job and a downside of his career being in the Air Force. He had a job where he was just right around the corner from the house and he would walk to work. So I wanted to surprise him by cutting the grass a few days early than we normally cut the grass. And I wanted to time it so when he saw me, he'll see me cleaning up because I wanted to just touch him. I just wanted to make him proud. I wanted to make him happy of me, just doing something for him because I knew it was going to touch him a particular way. So I got on the ride lawnmower, started cutting the grass, and I got through with the grass. When I started looking at the grass on this hot August day, boy, the grass, I tore the yard up. I really messed it up. The sun started browning the grass real quick. As I was sweeping and cleaning up, I was like, boy, I really didn't do a good job with this. I said, boy, I hope he's not mad at me about this yard. So he came home and he seen me sweeping the sidewalk off. And immediately, during his walk, during his stride, he started taking off his work uniform. And he took his jacket off and he came to me and he had such a smile on his face. And he was like, son, you messed the yard up, but it's okay. He said, let me show you something. And he went to the riding mower. He said, look, the next time you want to do this, man, look, next time just raise the mower up a little bit so the grass won't be cut so low. Because this time of the year, we don't get that much rain. And if you cut the grass too low, it'll burn the grass up, it'll brown it real quick. It became a teachable moment for him. But at the same time, he was still pleased. Even though I tore that yard up, it had all type of circles and whirlwinds around it, and it was turning brown real fast because we weren't getting that rain that time of the year in that region. So, but he wasn't mad at that. He knew and felt what I was trying to do, and that was touch him. In the Bible, Cain and Abel, twin brothers. One of them was of livestock. The other brother was of the earth, of the ground. And they both gave portion to God. And in their giving, God was pleased with Abel, the younger brother, and he was displeased with Cain. And God felt this, knew this, saw this on Cain. And he even had a conversation with Cain. He said, this your countenance has not fallen from me. And Cain felt some kind of way about his brother. And we know the story that he wound up tragically murdering his own brother. But I want to let you know today, it's not ironic that they were twins, okay? Because God looks at us all identical, all right? And Cain had the same countenance as his brother Abel, but he caned him to death when he was able to have that same countenance. Do you understand what I'm saying? God looks at all of us, his children, the same way. So we don't have to be jealous of one another. Just because one of us is doing something from the heart and another one is giving in an ill-mannered way. If you're going to do something for the Father, be from the heart. Don't be on the schematic way of trying to scheme or plot or get closer to God, that kind of way. Be for real. Be sincere about pleasing the Father. I had the opportunity of working with the pre-K about 6 years ago. I worked at the school, and there was a young lady in there, and I nicknamed her Sugar Mama. And I used to talk to her parents and told her that I gave her this name because she was just such a sweet child, just a great child. And one particular day, we was in school, and something happened. Uh, she had gotten into a little altercation with this other little young man in the classroom. And before I knew it, she just yelled out, "Stop!" And I looked, I said, "What's going on over here?" You know, and so I went over there and got on my knees, me being this gentle giant around all these kids, these small kids, these pre-K kids. And I said, "What's going on?" She said, "He bothered me, he bothered me." So I looked at the little boy and I said, "Man, why are you bothering her, you know?" So before I knew it, the young lady had put her head on my chest and just started crying. And I'm confused, like, so I told her, I said, "I'm not mad at you." So I thought about it for a second. I said, "Oh Lord, she don't want to displease me. She don't want to be in no bad situation. She want to be a great character of all time. Being around me, she don't want to let me down." And when that dawned on me and when it hit me, I had to leave the classroom. I told the teachers, like, "Hey, I'll be back." Because I got caught up for a second. I got kind of emotional thinking about the little girl. She don't want to displease me. She looked at me as a father figure, even though she had a mother and father in her life. Like I said, I met her parents before. But the little girl just adored me, and I adored her. And I walked around the school for a second to gather myself, and I was like, wow. And that's when this message really taught me about 6 years ago. And this little girl got enough sense to want to please, you know, authoritarian figures or even her parents, because I'm sure she's a great kid with her own parents. Why can't we be the same way towards God? Or not want to put ourselves in bad situations? Sometimes we can't help being around bad situations, but it was something that just happened. But her character spoke for her because I knew her character. And it's the same thing with God. Even when we put ourselves in a situation that we don't know what's going to happen, you know, it's still our character that God looks at. God looks at our heart, you know, and it's pleasing to Him to know that we're trying to please Him. Jesus, in the beginning of His ministry, right before He started His ministry, was baptized by His cousin John the Baptist. Okay, and in here we see the Holy Trinity. You know, three. Three is a manifestation of one. I said in my last video. You know, we see Jesus being God the Son, and when John the Baptist baptized him, as soon as Jesus rose up out of the water, God the Father said, "This is my Son, who I am well pleased with." Who I'm well pleased with. And immediately a dove, the Spirit, God the Spirit, ascended inside of Jesus. He came to receive the Spirit so He can give to us in due time. But once again, He was pleasing in the eyesight of God. We know that Jesus, as a young boy, we don't know much about His history, but we do know for 3 days that He went missing, and they went looking for Jesus, and Jesus was in the temple teaching the elders, teaching the Pharisees inside of the temple. And then He told His parents, you know, "Don't you know that must be about my Father's business?" That was pleasing to the Father. And here it is, a kid at this particular time talking to his earthly parents, okay, that cared for him, that watched for him, that nurtured him. But God the Father was his main priority. His main priority was pleasing the Father. And we have to ask ourselves, are we pleasing the Father? Are we doing the things to touch the Father? You know, even Jesus inside of Gethsemane before He was betrayed, right before He was betrayed, he asked his disciples to watch and pray with him. As he went, he called Peter and two of Zebedee's sons to go with him. And they went. And he told them, gave them instructions, watch and pray. And when he came back, he found them asleep. I'm sure that was very displeasing to him, to find them sleeping. He went to Peter. He said, you can't watch and pray for me for an hour at this time? The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So again, he went for a second time. And for a second time, he went fasting, praying, asking God to take the cup from him. But he said, not my will, but thy will. He still wanted to be pleasing to his Father, but thy will be done. And when he came back, he found them asleep again. He didn't even wake them up. He just looked at them. And he went away for a third time, praying, asking God the Father the same thing. But not my will, but thy will be done. And he came back to his disciples, found them asleep, still asleep. And they asked him a question, are you still sleeping, resting? Boy, that must have been a bad feeling. Had to be a bad feeling to know that all that you was about to do for them, Jesus being our Father, all that he's done for them in the past, fed them, healed them, taught them, gave to them. And ultimately, he was finna give his life for all mankind, all that he did. And I'm sure it had to be very displeasing, because in that scripture it says that he was feeling sorrowful about his life, yes, but that got to be even more sorrow to know that somebody that you entrust, gave so much to, was sleeping on your situation. I know that wasn't pleasing to him at that particular time, in that particular moment. So, I ask you this morning, are you pleasing the Father? You know, we talked about in the first video about establishing the relationship. But after the relationship has been established, you should know how to please the Father. And Jesus, like I say, simplified it in John 15 and 12 and 12 and 15, is that loving him. And if you love me, you keep my commandment. But this is my commandment, that you love one another. That's what's pleasing to God. There's so much hate, so much hurt in the world, so much jealousy, and all of these terrible ways that man has. Timothy talks about it in the book of Timothy, chapter 3, 2 Timothy chapter 3, talks about 23 of these bad adjectives describing, you know, an evil man. You know, that he's boastful, he's bragging, you know. And Timothy even goes on talking about what Paul's writing to Timothy, he's writing to Timothy. He's telling him that man having a form of godliness, but yet denying the powers thereof. That's not pleasing to God. It's not pleasing to God. If we want to be pleasing to God, we must take on his spirit. The fruit of the spirit is found in Galatians chapter 5, I believe. I'm just going right up top of the head. Galatians 5 and 22. 5:22 talks about the fruit of the spirit. And there was 9 of them, you know. Love, peace, joy, meekness, temperance, gentleness. I think I'm missing about 2 or 3. But that's what God is looking for. And those fruit of the spirit, those 9 fruits of the spirit, they all count to be one. That's what God is looking for. He's looking for these things. We must be meek with one another. We must be temperate with one another. Sometimes you got to put up some things with some people, you know, their ways, or you know, we all have our own time and grace. So, you know, God gives us grace and mercy, so we must give one another grace and mercy. Okay. So sometimes you just got to put up with some stupidity of some people and say, you know what, they're just not there yet. You know, and we all know a few folks, some of us know a bunch of folks, like me. I know a bunch of folks like that, but I just say, they ain't there yet. But I keep that to myself, though. You know, because I spiritually understand that, you know, they got some growing to do. You know, everybody not on meat. You know, everybody not on tuna fish. You know, some folks are really on water and milk. You know, but it's gonna take time though, and it takes grace, takes mercy. Thank God for that, for grace and mercy. But getting back to the matter of the subject though, pleasing the Father. You know, are you pleasing the Father? I can go a little step further before I end this video and tell you something. I'm just thinking about my dad, about his yard, on how he liked that yard. You know, at 13 years old, I wanted to please him. Okay, and then when I got a little older, you know, a few years older, you know, 16, I might have been 17, I wanted to get into my own will, okay? Not in the will of my father trying to please him. I'm talking about my earthly dad. You know, sports was my thing. I wanted to play basketball, and he gave me specific instructions a particular day to cut that grass. I said to myself, once I got out of school, I'd do it tomorrow. You know, I let my friends influence me, and I wound up going to the basketball court, go shoot some basketball. Man, that man came up in that little, he had a little raggedy Toyota Celica. Man, that man came looking for me at that basketball court, hollering my name. Oh man, that thing was terrible. Man, he was hollering and cussing me, all type of stuff. Man, you know better than this. Man, you know my yard got to be cut. Man, I got on my bike, and it seemed like the more and more I tried to pedal from here and get to the house, it seemed like the more he sped up by me, talking crazy to me. you know, he said, man, that basketball stuff over with. My yard got to be cut. I displeased him. You know, at that particular time, he felt like I was mature enough, you know, to go ahead on my own. You know, it's not even mature enough. His expectations of me was set at a certain standard. I was doing better as a 13-year-old. Then when I got 16, 17, I started to get into my own will. So we also know too that us as God's children, you know, we have to deny ourselves. We have to deny ourselves. Ask yourself, are you being pleasing to the Father? Are you doing exactly what He's asked of you? Think about it. Let it sit in. Let it rest. God bless you. See you next time.